For years, a Venture looked like a plane ticket and a passport.
But now it looks a little bit different.
We've traded the hostels for a 2012 Troopy named Dusty
We are building her from the ground up.
to take on the biggest lap of our lives.
I'm Scott.
And I'm CJ.
Welcome to Australia. Welcome back to the channel, guys.
We have some extremely exciting news to tell you all. So we have been traveling the globe for the past year and a half, but we have actually decided to head back to our home country, Australia. We are going to be doing something a little bit different. And what is that?
We have purchased a Troopy.
And that can only mean one thing, right?
One thing, and that is the big lap.
So we're going to do a loop of Australia. But before we start our big loop, we are actually going to do a bit of a refurb.
Let me clarify, this is not going to be a little refurb. We are giving our new home on wheels a big makeover, and we're going to be doing it all ourselves, but with a little help.
Yeah.
We are so lucky to have some incredible brands that are going to sponsor our Troopy build and basically come along this whole journey with us. So a big thank you to all of those sponsors. So make sure you stay tuned for our Troopy build out series, where we showcase how to install all of these amazing products that we have from our incredible sponsors, showing you that anyone can put these things in. You don't need to be an expert in Troopy build outs or installation or anything like that.
Space,
we're so new, so we're going to be doing all of this ourselves.
Yep.
But in saying that, welcome to the Australian series. Let's take a look at the inside and outside of our new Troopy. So this is her, this is the Troopy. Now, full disclosure, we've not cleaned this. We've not done any work to this. This is exactly how we have received it. I'm gonna take you across the outside of the Troopy. Later on, CJ is gonna swap with me and she's gonna take you through the inside. Please don't mind that terrible Australian flag. It is very, very windy up here in the Adelaide Hills and it has destroyed the flag. So I hope that these microphones are doing their job. But let's come and have a look. So this is obviously a 2012 Toyota Troopy VDJ78. We've got some spotties, some big reds. These work really, really well. I don't really have any plans to change these whatsoever because, you know, they're doing their job at the moment. We've got a factory ARB Bullbar. Now this thing has been through some stuff already. We've got a big old dent here. All we need to do is swap out this number plate and we can actually fit a winch in here. So I actually contacted ARB to make sure that that is winch compatible, and it is. We've got Oricum old school aerial here. As you guys know, we've got some incredible brands coming on board to support this build, including Uniden. So I cannot wait to install their new UHF technology here. Come around this side. We got some big 33 Maxxis all-terrains here. These are relatively new when we got the car. So these are doing their job. We've taken it for a few little drives. They're actually not that noisy at all. So these are, you know, quality in my opinion. I don't think we really need to change these at all. We got the factory LandCruiser snorkel. Now, I tell a lie, we have done something to this vehicle already. And this was getting a new head because, fun story, we actually flew CJ's parents out to New South Wales to come and pick this Troopy up and drive it back. Now, I don't know how, but on the way back here, the mushroom head disappeared. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was a bolt loose or something, but we came back and it was gone. So we were driving around a couple of days with no head on top. So we found a guy on Marketplace who was actually selling this Manta Ram head. And we picked it up for 50 bucks and it does its job. And eventually what we'll do is we'll upgrade to the Safari R-Max, or maybe if I can convince CJ to get a stainless steel one. Not sure. Let me know what you guys think. What is the biggest difference between Safari R-Max snorkel or a stainless steel? Let me know. Moving on is We've got these incy-wincy tiny little mirrors. Any Land Cruiser owner will tell you that these mirrors are not the best thing, and it's actually quite confusing how Land Cruiser can build such an amazing car but have really useless mirrors. Luckily for us, MSA 4x4 has jumped on board to sponsor our Troopy build, and we are going to be upgrading these mirrors, which I cannot wait to do. So stay tuned for that installation process, because there's a bit to it. We're going to take this badge off, so we're going to heat gun this, take it off, and do a bunch of steps. So moving on, we've got 2 factory tanks, so I'm pretty sure they're 80 or 90 litres each. So I think we've got about 160 litres of fuel. We've got a 15 amp, 250 volt socket here, so when we go into caravan parks we can power up. In here's just a gas bottle storage, so I'm thinking about reconfiguring this. Not 100% sure what that will look like yet, but it'll happen. Above here we've got the kick-ass shower awning. We actually haven't pulled that out, so I don't know in what condition that is in. A shower awning for us is a must. As you guys know, we're about to do a big lap of Australia. I don't know about you fellas, but I like a little bit of privacy in the shower, so having an outdoor shower awning is absolutely incredible. So moving on to the back, to the rear of the Troopy, we've got a big solid rear bar. I actually don't know where this is from or who built this, but it's bloody solid. We've got some swing away arms for the spare tire, which is cool. This gas strat has absolutely had it, so I'm going to replace that one. It doesn't, as you guys can see, it doesn't actually doesn't do its job properly. So we also have another option here of mounting another swing away arm. So that could be either like another spare tire or some jerry can holders, or even I've seen like barbecue boxes where you can put them on here as well. So it's amazing that this has come with the car. So that means that we don't have to do anything to the rear bar. So moving on, we've got the water tank here under the vehicle. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's around a 55 or a 45 litre water tank. Now, I've seen a lot of Troopy builds and a lot of people doing their lap, and I think our water tank is potentially the smallest. So we don't know if we're going to need to upgrade that. We might just need to carry around some extra water, but let us know in the comments. Do you think 45 litres underwater storage is enough for a lap around Oz? This is just a little air vent, and it does nothing at the moment, but I know that you can actually convert these to have a little hinge on there, and you can pop this out and you've got some little inputs and outputs, things like Anderson plugs for solar, some air compressor valves and water inlets and everything like that. So not sure what we're going to do with that. Up here we've got the 30-second awning from 30secondwingawning.com. So as you guys know, I'm sure you're all familiar with 270-degree awnings. This is going to wrap around basically 3/4 of the vehicle. We're missing like a tie-down strap for it, so we've got to sort that out, but that's all good. It's better to have it at the moment than not have it at all. Some side steps. These are amazing. This vehicle is actually massive. What you guys got to remember is we're used to jumping in like little Ford Fiestas, real tiny cars. So getting in a big Troopy like this, we actually use the side steps quite a bit. Up on the roof, we've got a hard frame 200 watt solar panel. Now, it's super thick, this guy. It's about that thick, and it's bolted directly to the top. Again, one of our major sponsors for this build is iTech World, and we're actually today waiting on delivery for them. I cannot wait to show you guys all of that stuff. But stay tuned for when we fit out all the iTech World, because we're going to put new solar in there, and there's a whole bunch of gear coming from them, so can't wait. That also reminds me, but CJ will show you a little bit after, we do have a roof conversion on the Troopy. So we'll wait till CJ shows you the inside, and she'll pop that up and let you know. But for the outside, that's about it.
Oh, welcome to the inside, guys. I'm just gonna shut that. It's very windy. Okay, so this is the front cab. It's old school, like there's nothing very modern about it, to be honest, but we are going to do a few upgrades and change a few little things along the way. Firstly, we are 100% getting seat covers, and we're actually getting some seat covers from MSA. Super excited for that, because there's nothing like a hot summer day in Australia and you're gonna get stuck to the leather and burn your bum. Because this is a Workmate model, we have a bench seat. So it means there's 2 seats here, but I never understand how this is a second seat. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We might change it later down the track and then we can have a whole like fit out with extra storage here. Not sure, but for now this is perfectly fine. So one thing that we are going to upgrade in here is getting an overhead console from Cruiser Consoles. So it's going to be here somehow. I actually don't even know how this is going to look or how it's going to work, but that is the plan. And yeah, obviously we're going to show you when we get to that. But one thing that I said to Scott is I think I want to change these. It's so old school and I feel like we could do better and maybe get little mirrors here. Because we're going to be living out of this full time, it'd be nice to have a mirror here. If this was just, you know, weekend trips, like you wouldn't really care, but it's sort of a nice little luxury to have. Okay, one of the most exciting upgrades that we are going to be doing is getting a new head unit from Brumstad. So this whole face is going to change here and it's going to have so many features, but you need to stay tuned because we will show you the whole installation process and we'll show you all of the features and that's involved with this. So that is so exciting because the last thing I want to do is carrying around 100 CDs to listen to music. And yes, I still do have a lot of CD-ROMs. Okay, so one thing that I almost forgot to mention is the car comes with these arm rests. It comes with the car, but it has a cup holder here. It's so good. I feel like this is such a good feature. I've never seen it before. So now let's go check out the rear because this is where all the excitement is. Welcome to the rear end. So one thing I really wanted to show you is how high this Troopy is. So we are a little bit on a hill, so it's a little bit exaggerated, but it's not that much exaggerated to be honest. So this is me and this is like, it's up to my hip. I think we might need to get a mini step for me to get in and out of this thing. Yep. Oh, okay, so here we are. So as you can see, this already has a fit out kitchen in here and a seat. Down the track, we are going to upgrade all of this and design it differently ourselves, but that's probably one of the last things that we're going to do for this Troopy. Come inside and I'll show you. The first thing that I want to mention is up here on the bench, we have a tap where we can wash dishes, but this actually gets fed through the window and that shower awning's on the outside, so we can have a shower with this head as well. It works through a compressor. All we need to do is push this button on and off. So that's a pretty cool feature. But also up here on the kitchen bench is a chopping board that goes over this, which goes over the sink. So it's a cool little feature to have. It's a little protection, and I guess if you have dishes and you've been lazy, you can just put them in there and hide it. But we're not lazy like that, right? For storage, so there's not a lot of storage and there's never going to be crazy amounts of storage. So we're gonna have to be super smart on how we store everything. And I think that's gonna take a few times to actually get down pat, like to get that all down pat and figure out a system for us. So these doors, we've actually tied this because this door keeps coming open. So we need to change this lock system here and just make it better. So this is basically what it is inside. The shelves are big and they're quite deep, which is fantastic. It's not like a normal kitchen. And we have another big cupboard here. It's just under the sink, but behind here I can't do it because the bed wood is on the ground right now. But this is where the wheel hub is. So the wheel hub actually comes out quite a bit, so it takes up a lot of space, and same in this cupboard here. And then we do have one drawer, which is great. And then we have this other little mini storage cupboard here. So this is just like a pop-off magnetic cupboard. This is slightly dodgy because it doesn't actually stay shut. So every time you hit a bump, it's like meow, pew. But yeah, this is little fixes that we can do. So it's not a problem for now. It's still functional and it works. Moving along. So down the back here, we actually have a Bushman's upright fridge, which is fantastic. It's upright and it's inside the vehicle. And what I love about it, it's so close to the front, so we can literally just put our hand back here and grab a drink or whatever we need. And we don't have to go to the back, but we have to open up all the doors to actually get something out of the fridge. But at the moment we're like umming and ahhing, is it actually practical to be here? Because it's actually like, it's a little bit in the way of strapping down like the pop top up here. But this is a down the track thing. For now, it's great, and there's a ton of space in here. All right, next I'm going to show you the pop top, which is actually very easy, quick and convenient to set up. So that's what I love so much about this. It's not complicated. So there's 4 straps that are holding it down. One is over here near the fridge. This is what I'm saying about the convenience of the fridge. It's actually really hard to pull this down and actually seal this from above. So like if there's a big gush of wind, this wants to tend to pop up as we are driving. So that's why we're like reconsidering, like, is the fridge a good idea here? But we'll have to get different clips because these clips are really not that fantastic. So that's all you have to undo for the pop top. And then all you do is you push. Ta-da! And now we're standing. We can literally stand in here, and it's actually tall enough that Scott can stand in here too. How it works, so the planks of wood that I'm currently standing on, they get set here, and this becomes the base of our bed. Okay, so I've put 3 boards up so far, and then what's next is we actually have to put the mattress up. So this little couch here doubles as a mattress, so it's 2 parts. So if you put the last plank of wood in there, you obviously, like, you can't access it, you can't put the mattress up or anything. So this is the next part of the process. This is like the first time doing this, so I'm sure there's a probably better system. We'll figure out a good flow on how to do this, but right now this is how I'm figuring out how to do it. Oh, and then I guess you just get up there and push that into place, and that's done. So as Scott said before, we've only just received the Troopy, so we're still figuring out how everything works and functions. So I'm just assuming that this is how this is going to work for us. The last thing though is the storage box where the couch is. This, I think, is going to be where most of our stuff is going to be stored. We also have to consider like all our bedding and everything, which will stay in here, because the pop top, you can't leave anything up here because it needs to sit down flat, so it'll be risen if we see anything up there. So little things like that we really have to consider. Yeah, there's a fair bit of space in here. We'll just need to figure out how we are going to store like clothing and all the other bits and pieces. But basically this is the inside, and this is so exciting. I cannot wait to actually go away for the first time and see how everything functions and how we work it. Welcome to the Troopy.
CJ forgot to mention one thing.
The table.
So this is amazing to have on your rear door, but there's some things that we would like to add.
Whenever we decide to do it, I would love to figure out how to add into here, maybe like a shelf, and then like have things in here like your spices and stuff like that.
Great idea.
Because I feel like it's a waste of space. I don't really know how that functions, but I can see there being like some sort of inbuilt shelving, maybe like some elastic to hold things in. I don't know, but I think that would be a good little project down the road.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
But it's good, just a little unsturdy at the moment, so we have to be
It's been loved.
A little bit.
It's been loved.
Gentle. Yes, it's been loved.
But that is our Troopy build so far, and this is basically our starting point.
Yes.
We're so excited to be here with you guys. As you guys know, for the past 1.5 years, we've been traveling around the entire world, and now it's time to showcase our home.
Yes.
And we cannot wait to do it in an iconic Australian 4-wheel drive in a 78 Troopy. So guys, stay tuned. Thank you again for all of the sponsors that are jumping on board to sponsor this build.
And welcome to Australia.